think on a clear day?
You can see the detainees being
Guantanamo Bay detainees. They come out, sun shining in their eyes. They look south. They see some idiot, bearded, pasty Yankee throwing a martini over his shoulder. There's a faint whisper in the wind asking about 1 or 2 button Ryobi garage door openers.
Yeah, my wife is grossed out by me and keeps her distance. Oh, okay, it's Tuesday. No different than...
the day of the week here. Just
yeah, exactly.
Standard protocol in the Steve and Annette house.
Well, the fact that you couldn't put the pieces together and think that it was impossible for a shark to swim around the planet.
Well, no, you take the short way. You take the Underground Railroad, the Shark Railroad.
Mm-hmm, yeah. So the shark got in a train car.
Well, no, Underground Railroad is obviously a metaphor. So this is it's like the jet stream, but for the ocean.
Once again, proven right. There is sort of a jet stream, right?
Oh, man.
Didn't Zach fact check that?
Yeah, thank you.
Are you hearing me all right?
Yeah, it's maybe a little light on your end.
How about that? Is that a little better?
Oh, boy, crisp. Got radio professional that you are. Sorry, podcast professional with a radio side gig.
Yeah, exactly. Podcast is paying all the bills.
Trying to find it, but yes, Zach most definitely fact-checked us and did say that there are, quote, underwater currents?
Yes.
That's
become one of my new favorite things is to read Zach's weekly fact check of our episode.
Oh, it's incredible.
He does it fast too. If you follow us on Twitter at Stephen Kyle, do we post it on we should post it on Facebook and Instagram
I keep meaning
too.
to do that. I apologize. I'll start doing that this week. Yeah.
Facebook, the Stephen Kyle Podcast, on Instagram at Stephen Kyle. We'll start posting that on a weekly basis. But listener Zach, he listens intently to every episode. He fact checks everything we say.
Sure.
And then he delivers us like a manifesto, and he does it fast. These episodes release Tuesday at 7 a.m. Eastern time, and I swear it's like by 10 a.m. that same day he has a full fact check of everything we talked about in the most recent episode.
Yeah, it's very fast.
Fact check that, Zach. Actually, I posted it at 11:15.
He was on it today, or this past week, and you heard there in the intro, we wondered if the detainees at Guantanamo Bay could have possibly seen Steve when he visited Sandals, Jamaica.
Yeah, seems as though that was probably not possible.
165 miles apart. I stand by it. A clear day, not a cloud in the sky, the wind whipping just the proper direction. I think.
Does the wind direction affect?
Well, your voice. Like, my idea is that your voice talking to Annette about the Ryobi garage door openers, which is something
skips across the water like stones on a lake.
Well, it's like a message in a bottle, but through the wind. You know?
So I'm a wind talker now.
You're a wind talker, and I want the idea that the suspected terrorist or aide to terrorists heard Steve excitedly telling his brand new bride on their honeymoon that he just ordered them brand new garage door openers.
Honey,
but
you're not going to believe this. It's got dual password encryption.
Forget the rose petals and the champagne in bed, dear.
Those were long ago. Those were gone day one after that man serenaded us. He left the room and I said, all right, clean up this mess. Someone left garbage on our bed.
Do you have a vacuum I could borrow, sir? Screw that romance. I've got the real romance right here, toots.
Yeah.
How about a new 2-button garage door opener with 64-bit password encryption.
That's right.
And its own Wi-Fi signal. Because Steve really knows how to get the juices flowing and the romance pumping.
Garage door openers let us down the other day.
Oh, no.
I left for work in the morning, and then I got a frantic call from my wife at about 7 a.m., which is around the time she normally leaves for work. And she's like, the garage door won't open. It's frozen to the ground.
Oh, no.
It was so cold here that's happened. Like, I've had that happen from time to time.
Yeah.
That rubber seal it just, if the concrete's a little bit wet, which of course it's going to be from driving in and out of the garage, you hit the button and it just doesn't release.
Oh,
so
man.
It was frozen to the ground. So I said to her, I was like, all right, no big deal. But in the background, I could hear this beeping, and it was because like the garage door tried to open, sensed that like there was something obstructing it. So it starts chirping. It's like beep, 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 beep. And so I was like, all right, go over and hit the button again. It'll probably reset it or something. Hit the button, didn't work.
Just beeping away.
So it's still beeping, and I was like, all right. Well, let's get the door open first. So I told her to go over and pull the release cord.
Yeah.
So she pulls the emergency release cord and then pulls the door up. No problem. It was like it stuck a little bit, but it wasn't. She just grabbed onto it and pulled the thing up. So it probably required 10% more force than the opener was able to give. Gets the door open. She backs her car out. She's like, all right, well, what do I do about the alarm, because it's still going off and the dogs are in the house losing their mind.
All the beeping, yeah.
Absolutely going crazy. She's upset now because she's going to be late for work. The roads are bad, so it's going to take forever to get there already.
Sure.
So I'm thinking, I'm like, unplug it? Like unplug the garage door opener? But the problem is the ceilings in our garage are like abnormally tall.
Yeah, I think get the old ladder out.
I think they're 10 or 11 foot tall ceilings.
Yeah, so get the ladder out and get on the top step and lean over.
The only ladder that we have is an extension ladder.
Okay.
But there's nothing, like, the outlet that it's plugged into is right in the middle of the garage, so there was nothing to lean the ladder up against.
Good.
I'm like, there's a little step ladder. So she ended up, I was very proud of her, the ingenuity. She stood on the step ladder on the top step and then took a hammer and used the claw end of the hammer to reach up because the cord had just enough slack in it where it was hanging down just enough where she was able to loop it around and boink, pull the thing out. What a pain in the ass. How bad is that we live in an area where it's so cold that like your door can freeze shut? That shouldn't ever happen.
Well, what I'm impressed with, and you'll remember this, Steve, because you helped me a little over a year ago or a year and a half ago when my garage door.
Oh yeah, we fixed it. No problem. 10 minutes,
like a half hour. You brought
time,
the part over.
Yeah, I said, I got a spare.
Yeah, but I remember when my spring had broke, and the way you described it just now with your garage door, which is new, you installed it yourself. They. Annette was able to lift it up after pulling the release, doing it with her hand. Mm-hmm. I remember my garage door must be 25, 30 years old, because when my spring broke, I thought there's something else wrong because the door's not moving. No, it turns out it's just like a metric ton.
Yeah, it's massive.
To move, and it's all, wood and everything, or metal, whatever it is.
It's probably a metal frame with wood inserts and everything.
And
because mine is it's sheet metal, basically. Sure. And then it's got styrofoam panels in the back of it for like the insulation layer.
Yeah.
So it's pretty heavy, but with the springs still intact, still lifted up with 2 fingers, no problem.
So either I am just really weak as a adult male.
Yep.
Or Annette is the She-Hulk, and she was able to just rip the garage door from the floor.
She's strong.
Throw it over her head.
Plus, I mean, had to imagine that the adrenaline was pumping a bit.
Yeah.
In a hurry, in a rush, everything's going wrong.
Boy, that'll ruin your morning.
Oh, yeah, it definitely did. It definitely ruined her morning. And then I got home, I climb up on the ladder, I plug it back in, hit the button, works perfectly fine. Yeah.
Well, you just need to like break the the seal essentially.
Yeah. So I have to go out and buy. They say there's like a silicone spray.
Oh, good.
And you spray it on the rubber seal, and that will prevent it.
That'll fix any problem you could possibly have.
Yep. No problem.
Those 2-button garage openers you bought on your honeymoon, failing you 15 months into the marriage.
Yeah. I'm torn. I don't know if that was more the opener or the door. The door.
That's a door problem.
Yeah.
But you can blame the opener if you want.
Well, I mean, I think that there's a way to adjust it. So, like, basically, you know how you can adjust, it's called like the downforce. Mm-hmm. So when the door's going down, if it senses that, like, if it hits an obstruction, it'll bounce off and go back up.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, God forbid your kid is walking under there, or
Right.
the dog is laying down there or something, it doesn't crush them. I think that there's a way to, like, override that where you just put the pressure all the way up, so it's like no matter what, it's going to just keep going. I think you can do that for the up as well. So it just pulls pulls and pulls until something breaks.
Yeah. I mean, it'll work itself out, won't it?
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it turns out you can't see Guantanamo Bay, Steve, from Sandals, Jamaica.
Oh, yeah, we digress.
But the important question at hand, as we were talking about, there are indeed underwater currents in the world's oceans.
Oh, yeah, we
speed
digress
things
again.
and creatures along. In the Pixar film Finding Nemo.
Oh, yeah, that scientific documentary.
Yeah, I mean, it's Making a Murderer, Finding Nemo back-to-back on Netflix if you find them.
Yep.
The East Australian Current is portrayed as an underwater superhighway for the nautical characters, while the real current is not as rapid. Thousands of fish are swept from the Great Barrier Reef to the Sydney Harbor and beyond each summer.
Oh, poor things.
So, my idea of the Shark Underground Railroad, the Shark Railroad, is not as far-fetched as you thought 1 week ago today.
I mean, I have to, the facts are the facts.
Would you appreciate a spatula to remove all that egg from your face? Because, boy, do you sound like a buffoon.
I feel like if I go back... I think that I actually agreed with the shark the currents. I didn't necessarily agree with the idea of it being a shark superhighway where they just went.
It was a shark railroad. I demand you get it correct. It was the Shark Underground Railroad, and that is how that one shark got from Melbourne, Australia,
Florida,
to off of the coast of Florida in 9 days.
What was Zach's math? Like, it would have to be swimming at like
50 miles an hour nonstop for
and its max is like 32.
No, its max is like 9 or something.
I
crazy.
thought it was quite a bit faster than that.
But that's neither here nor there,
right?
Because that does not take into account, as we now know, the Shark Underground Railroad that this particular shark used to rocket around, as I described it last week, the dark side of the earth.
Yeah.
He took the short way to get to Florida.
You know something? We didn't factor in time zones either.
Listen,
he's making up a ton of time.
Everybody's popping off at Kyle willy-nilly that this Shark Railroad idea and this Melbourne, Australia shark couldn't have made it. Well, I kindly ask
don't you feel vindicated?
I kindly ask you, along with Steve, along with Zach, to all go down to your local tavern, belly up at the bar.
Oh, what am I ordering?
And you say, barkeep, your freshest, hottest glass of pond scum, party of one.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned pond scum because that drink has a long history on this.
Rich history.
The long, rich history on this podcast. And there's going to be some pond scum being consumed in a matter of just over 2 months.
My goodness, Steve.
There's finally an update. We are just one personal check in the mail away from the billboard becoming a reality. It's going to run in Van Wert, Ohio. The spot randomly chosen by a dart throw 5 months ago. It will be displayed in Van Wert. I don't know the roads or the highways or the byways or the gravel rural roads that it's going to be on, but it will be up for 1 month. 1 full month. That stupid thing is going to be showing. And we're going to be making a pilgrimage. This will be for all the Steve and Kyle podcast loyalists.
Yeah.
To join us Saturday, April 6th, 2019. We invite you to join us in Van Wert, Ohio. We fully expect no one to take us up on that.
Yeah, no, that is less than 10 weeks away.
I'm confident that it will be just you and I. Have we Googled, what is that, like a 4-hour drive?
It's like 3:15 from us. So we can make that in 3.
So we're going to probably leave here. I'm thinking that we'll be there around lunchtime. Anybody who shows up, we're buying a drink for you.
Yeah, first round's on us. That's 10 weeks from yesterday, Steve. 10 weeks from yesterday, and if you're listening to this, obviously this week, less than 10 weeks from now, the pilgrimage to Mecca is happening again, as Steve said, Saturday, April 6th, Van Wert, Ohio. Put it on your calendars.
I know we should make an event on our Facebook page.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody knows about it.
We'll put the GPS coordinates there, so...
Remember, if you donated... We're buying you a drink.
Yep, and we're fact-checking.
If you show up having not donated, that's fine. We appreciate the support. But you're going to go out to the local swamp.
Yep.
Get yourself a tall, frosty, warm glass. Yeah, frosty and warm glass of pond.
I think frothy
yeah,
is what we want.
Tall, frothy glass of pond scum.
And then you can bring that back into the tavern.
Well, no, they won't let you bring outside drinks in, but you can stand outside, maybe stand outside
looking through the window as we all cheers.
Dude, I'm excited about this. I'm really excited. I'm
going
to be on 2 billboards in the next 10 weeks.
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that because I have an issue.
Okay.
I have an issue with that. But I never thought, even when we talked about it, that this is something that would happen. Because if you don't remember the full story, I don't even know how this came up, but we decided we wanted to do this.
Oh yeah. We were researching the most modern ways to advertise. So we thought, let's see, we could we could do targeted social media. No.
Tried that.
No. Yeah, well, actually we did. It was like the biggest waste of $30.
Yeah, I might as well have thrown $30 into the winter air. Let the winter current take it away, just like Steve's words.
If I remember correctly, it was like watching if you're downloading a file or uploading a file, it'll show you a status bar. So it'll start on the left, fills in till it's all the way on the right, and that's 100%. That is what I remember social media marketing being like when we said, what the heck? Let's throw $20 at it and see what it does. Well, it gives you a status of like how many people it's reached and what percentage of your money has been spent. And I remember no sooner did I click that button to say buy or activate that this little status bar popped up and it's like $1, $2, $3, $12, $20 spent. What? I didn't even get a chance to refresh. It was just gone. Absolutely gone. Pissing in the wind. Gone.
It was so fast.
Yeah, and it's like, your post reached 4 extra people. Whoa.
Yeah. And we look at the downloads, and it's like negative.
I know, somehow.
The week before.
Somehow it like deterred people from downloading that week. They're like, screw that. I saw their Facebook ad or their Twitter post or whatever.
So we had decided that after that failure,
we needed the most updated 2018 at the time, way of advertising, and we settled on the good old American billboard, the roadside advert.
Even when we decided this, I didn't anticipate it actually panning out, because we began this. It's more than safe to say with zero knowledge of how much this would cost, what goes into it, nothing. We just threw up the GoFundMe, crowdfunded this thing, got enough cash, started calling around in Ohio, found our friend Joe. We went on...
Joe-san?
Jason.
Jason.
Found Joe. Went on like a 4-month delay of not talking to Joe.
Well, we'd check in every now and then just to make sure things were on the up and up, making sure that billboard was still available.
Yeah. So our initial goal, as we had talked about, was going to be March. We'd even picked out a weekend that we wanted to do it. But that weird delay with Joe's communication on our end.
Well, I think a lot of that fell in around the time that your baby boy was born.
Sure. Well,
we had Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year. Like there was a lot going on.
In fairness, too, the last communication with Joe was sent from me. I had said, "Hey, we're going to push this until March. Please, here's the budget. Send me 4. With this budget, I will mail you the exact check."
I think for him, we probably made it pretty easy because I bet a lot of people call up and there's a lot of haggling, and it's like you don't want to reveal your. You don't want to put all your cards out on the table. You don't want to say, "Well, I got $5,000. What can you do?" You want them to give the price first, and then you negotiate. But with us, we're like, Here's the amount. What do we have? $500.
$500.
Here's the $500 that we raised.
Yep.
Point at billboards that we can use.
Yeah.
And then we'll decide on one of them, and then it just happens. I'm not interested in haggling.
Nope.
I'm not going to sit here and negotiate and say, give us an extra 2 days or put it up on this day.
Don't care.
Don't care. Put the billboard up. We'll send you our picture. You put it up on a billboard. We'll drive and look at it and take pictures of it.
Yep.
That's it.
That's where we're at. And so Joe, after that, said, okay, I'll get back to you. He never got back to us. So I finally followed up about 3 weeks ago. Said, hey, Joe, where are we at on this? And he sent me a list. And after about 5 days, emailed him back. And we are now locked in with the billboard we want. Just not for March, which isn't a big deal.
It's all right.
That doesn't really matter. But here we are, April 6th, Steve. Our very own billboard going up in Van Wert, Ohio. Again, we will make an event on our Facebook page, and we'll even put that link up on Twitter, so everybody can see it and be in the know.
All right, over under people being at the billboard, 4, not including us.
Under.
Yeah, I'm taking the under.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, over under 3.
Yeah, I'll go with that under.
2.
Push.
Now, what's that mean? What's push mean?
Going to be 2. I think it's going to be 2. I don't know who it's going to be. Somebody probably.
I thought Zach said he was going to.
I think it might be Zach, and maybe the guy who lives or works in Van Wert, and sent us a picture of him walking into Fricker's Chicken.
Wait, where's Zach live?
East side.
Oh, that's right. He recently moved back.
Yeah,
because he lived in Maine, Portland. Like he lived in the Northeast somewhere.
Yeah. He moved back to Michigan. Yeah, so he is. He's on the east side. He said, "See you in Ohio, boys." Maybe it was Jeremy as well. I think Jeremy Humphrey maybe had mentioned "See you in Ohio, boys" as well.
You want to carpool?
I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense for... oh, you mean me, you, and...
Yeah, the whole gang.
Oh, sure, yeah, because I thought you were like me and you.
Nope. No, I'm not driving with you.
Nah, man. You're on your own. I got things to do in Van Wert. I can't be held up by your tight schedule. Now, so, yeah, I while we will post official details, as soon as I get I want to put the check in the mail, and I need to get confirmation, a receipt from Joe saying this is yours, these dates. Before I post this location, I will say this. It's very, very, very close to Fricker's Chicken. And Steve and I,
by the way,
are in deep, deep negotiations with Fricker's. And this is something to stick around for and maybe to make the trip for. To host our very own first ever Steve and Kyle podcast live. Deep in negotiations.
Is there new information that I don't know about?
Deep in negotiations.
Here's how the negotiations have gone so far. I went to Fricker's Chicken website. I clicked on apparently it's a chain. There are a bunch of different locations. I clicked on the Van Wert, Ohio location, hit that contact us page, typed out a nice little message saying that I'm the host of a widely listened to podcast.
Yes.
Very popular in the Van Wert area. We're looking for a place to do a live recording sometime in April. All we need is a table. We're basically just customers coming in, but we're going to have a microphone or two with us.
Right.
So if you could just let me know if that's going to work out for you guys. Let's do it. Have not received word back.
I feel like we went too high on the food chain.
I think I have a better idea, though.
I have the better idea pulled up right now.
What is that?
It's their Facebook page.
Ooh.
I think we send Fricker's Van Wert.
Okay. A direct message?
A direct message. And here's what I would love for our listeners. It's facebook.com/Frickers Van Wert. That's FRICKERS VANWERT. And the demand I'm going to make is everybody be incredibly kind.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. We don't want this. There's no hostility involved here.
There's 6,000 people that like this page. 6,000 people like Frickers and Van Wert. That's essentially our new audience.
Yeah.
Plus everybody now.
So
what we need is people to go to their Facebook page, make a post,
tag us in it.
Yeah, we want
tag, do the little @ symbol, the Steve and Kyle podcast. It'll pop up.
Yep. We want @ Steve and Kyle or @ the Steve and Kyle podcast ! If we can get 10 to 15 of those,
they're going to start thinking.
They're going to notice it.
They're going to say something's going on. I mean, I'm going to do it. And then I'll do it as the podcast too.
Yep. Hey, we'd love to. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because as of right now, no reply back. But I think there is another way that we can do this.
Okay, what do you
It
got?
could be a guerrilla style podcast where we just have to make the investment to get those the little like headset microphones. Like the kind, not like a sportscaster one.
Yeah, but like the people wearing a TED Talk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The one that's really thin, and there's just that little tiny microphone.
Yeah.
So we each get one of them, so it's very subtle. Mm-hmm. We bring our little recorder there. We'll have to bring this mixer here, so that might be a little...
One of us is gonna have to really bulk up.
No, that's right.
Going under a shirt.
Yeah, but this is tiny. This fits in a backpack. The backpack sits on the seat right next to us. And then we just sit there and talk. We BS. We do our episode like we normally do. No one would have any way of knowing that we're recording a podcast. Everything gets picked up. The interactions, the yucking it up with the local folks there.
The Van Wardians.
Serving us the fine chicken fare.
That now they are on Twitter. They just haven't used it in 7 years.
Really?
They last tweeted February 4th, 2012. They have 69 followers. Nice.
What was their last tweet?
February 4th, 2012. Getting ready for Super Bowl. Who's your pick?
We should reply to it right now.
Yeah, who's the 2012 Super Bowl? Pull up the 2012 Super Bowl. We'll tweet at them. But yeah, if you want to tweet at them and on our behalf, that'd be fantastic as well. At Frickers Van Wert. That's again FRICKERSVANWERT.
Let's see. Well, I'll give you one guess as to who.
New England Patriots.
Yep, the New England Patriots and the New York Football Giants.
Hey, the second of the, or no, that was the second Super Bowl the Giants had beat the Patriots in, if I remember.
Let's see. That was the year that the 9-7 Giants beat the 13-3 Patriots.
All right.
Final score. Yeah. So, say now. Are you doing this from the podcast one?
Yeah, I'm going to say pulling for the Giants! Exclamation point.
Final score 21-17? Question mark?
21-17, maybe. All right, there. We tweeted at them.
Oh, and then follow up tweet.
Oh, okay.
Also, Eli Manning, the game's MVP.
Okay. Oh boy. All right, Eli Manning, MVP. Perfect. Okay. So I think that's the way to do it. And what we're going to do, another thing. And that is sent.
Okay, one more. Also, the attendance will be 68,658.
Attendance just over 68,500. Ish.
Right.
Okay.
Kelly Clarkson will do a great job with the national anthem.
Yeah. We go back. Get this. Kelly Clarkson is going to kill the anthem.
Mm-hmm. Send.
And that's sent. Okay. So
and that halftime show featuring Madonna, LMFAO, MIA, Nicki Minaj, and CeeLo Green was what was a good.
Sure hope the halftime show of Madonna.
LMFAO.
CeeLo Green. While I'm typing this, I'm going to need you to find out, what is CeeLo Green doing nowadays? He was on The Voice, Steve.
Yeah.
Did he just quit The Voice? Because they do rotating chairs on The Voice. So he'd left. He has not been back. He didn't rotate back in.
No.
Poor short little CeeLo Green is out there around, nobody knows what he's doing for work.
Yeah, it doesn't... on July, his most recent Wikipedia mention, on July 14th, 2017, Green performed at the opening ceremony of the 2017 World Aquatics Championships in Budapest.
Oh, CeeLo. Adam Levine is like the most Googled artist in the world, and because he's on The Voice, and now he's doing the Super Bowl halftime show this year. CeeLo Green, 18 months ago, mastered the opening ceremony of aquatics
in Budapest. Yep. Yeah. So things are going well. Things are going well for old CeeLo Green.
So I think also, Steve, what you and I need to do is you and I need to Facebook message from the podcast account, if that's possible, Frickers Van Wert.
Yeah, definitely.
And figure this out. See if we can set up a little corner booth. or give us the what is probably their karaoke stage that they do once a week.
Oh no, I don't want to be on a stage.
Well, it's not a stage, but it's just going to be like just a different type of flooring.
Yeah.
The same height as everything else, and we'll just put a table over there.
I have a bit of anxiety about this.
Doing a show there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a terrible decision.
I don't know if we're ready for this.
No, we'll see. We'll make a Facebook event. We'll put the date on it. Throw that on Twitter, so you can find it even if you don't follow us on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And please let us know if you can make it Saturday, April 6th, Van Wert, Ohio. This is exciting. I'm legitimately very excited. I was like giddy last night thinking about it again, talking to my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, I can't believe this.
So, is your wife like my wife, where she has zero interest in making the trip with us?
Zero chance.
So we can assume that our wives will be hanging out that day.
I gave her. I mentioned it to her when you and I were messaging back and forth this week when we were ironing this out. And I told Katie that night, I said, hey, here's the date. I picked it. You don't work if you want to go. And it wasn't a direct no, but it was almost worse. It was kind of a, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then, just like Steve's words in Sandals, Jamaica about the Ryobi, floated off into the wind.
Yeah, I had said to Annette, like, yeah, we finally got a... Because we like our calendar on our phones,
you updated the calendar. Yeah.
It's shared. So if I add stuff, it shows up on hers. She adds stuff, it shows up on mine.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, I don't know if you saw, but I added a trip to the billboard for April. She's like, yep, okay, cool. Like, yeah, so billboard's going to be up all of April. Oh, that's nice. So you want to come with us? No.
That fast.
Yeah. She didn't even act like she was going to come up with an excuse. Like,
just not interested.
Yeah, not even like the dog has a bath that day. Sorry, can't go.
But that's okay. Our legions of fans are going to come and support us. Now, we had more than I even anticipated when we visited Boston on a 12-hour whirlwind trip last year. Maybe the showing will surprise us, Steve.
How many did we have? Like 7, right? 7 or 8?
Yeah. It was
Which is crazy because it wasn't an area. I mean, everyone that was there had to travel to get there.
Yeah. Our friend Adam drove to get there.
Adam drove from like New Jersey.
Yeah, drove like 5 hours or something that day.
What a poor decision.
But Adam and Zach were both our
tour guides. Yeah.
Our tour guides for
Nikki.
the day. Nikki and her daughter showed up. Dave I want to say Dave Gordon and his wife showed up. That was outstanding. I think that's
just silly. So
awesome.
I'm beyond excited about this. I think it's going to be a very surreal moment while we're standing on the side of a dirt road in Van Wert, Ohio, looking up at 40-foot wide and 15-foot tall pictures of us. But man, am I excited about this.
Now, the next step for this billboard, Steve, is you and I need to figure out how to get the 22 feet 9 inch wide.
Oh, is that all it is?
By 10 feet 6 inches tall piece of vinyl.
Yeah, back here.
And I think that's going to take a late April trip or early May trip.
Yeah.
Back to Van Wert just for you and I. Maybe another lunch at Fricker's.
Yeah, the only downside to that is that Joe said that will be something that they can't guarantee it, but they can try to do it. When they remove it, they'll just give special instructions to just not rip it off because it wants to be we want to preserve it. So it'd be a huge bummer if we drove down there like the day that they were taking it down, and then they just went rip and just ripped right through our faces, and then we waste 6 hours.
But even if we can save pieces of it.
Well, what I'm thinking is, because I think the design is basically going to be our logo. There's going to be some words above it, some words below it. As long as you can get me the center portion, I'm happy with that. I don't need the text.
Right, and even if it's not fully usable, I still think it's cool. We can ship off to listeners or bring some pieces of our billboard and give that away.
It'll be like our own AIDS quilt.
Yeah. Oh, God. I mean, you'd think that was...
Is that a bad comparison?
This is for a good cause. piece of billboard and you hand it to AIDS quilt.
Well, I mean, that was for a good cause.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good cause. Is this a good cause? It's just a billboard with our faces on it.
Well, I mean, we're going to ship pieces off to people, which they can then auction off to other people.
Oh, secondhand auctioning of pieces of billboard of a very lightly listened to podcast.
And all of the money goes to sick dogs.
Limbless dogs.
Limbless dogs.
The LLDA. Limbless Dog Association. I don't know why. Even though limbless is one word.
Limbless.
Is one word.
Uh-huh.
The LLDA. So, people, again, put that in your calendar. Saturday, April 6th, Van Wert, Ohio. Frickers Chicken. First round's on Steve and I. The rest of you get to drink Pond Scum. Come down, hang out with us, see our billboard, take pictures with Steve's hair.
Oh, yeah.
And
look at that.
Oh, man. And enjoy the day in Van Wert, Ohio. This will be the biggest day of tourism Van Wert has seen in decades.
I'm going to be disappointed if I can't find a Van Wert, Ohio sweatshirt or something.
We need some local Van Wert merch.
Yeah.
Now, I know it's not going to be like the Vegas Strip where there's T-shirt shops every 3 feet, but Van Wert has to have some local merch.
There has to be. A little farm store type thing.
Right.
With little trinkets. Maybe a shot glass that says Van Wert on it.
What I would like to do, and we'll try to figure this out and get these up before the event, well before the event, like to do a issuing of the 2019 Steve and Kyle Podcast World Tour Van Wert, Ohio edition.
Okay.
So in the same vein as our 2017 World Tour shirt, this will be posted. We can maybe get that up on the shop here in a couple of weeks. If you're planning on coming, please wear your merch, all your gear. Yeah. That would be fantastic. But I mentioned to you, Steve, that I have an issue.
Yeah, what do you got?
This has happened before. It's been referenced in a jesting manner. Mm-hmm. But I find out here this past week or a week and a half ago, whatever it is, you've had this long-running... It's not even a bet because you're drawing football teams at random.
Yep.
At your side gig.
No skill required at all.
No.
Just random drawing.
Yep. And this came up because you said there was a photo shoot. And that's the last I'd heard of it. Mm-hmm. You said there's a photo shoot and the loser has to go completely nude, only a helmet over their junk, whatever.
Yeah. Football in this case.
Yeah. So I didn't... That's the last I'd heard of it, and I don't listen to the show. I think the production's pretty poor. Mm-hmm. And then I find out that it's not just a photo shoot.
Right.
It's going on a billboard.
Mm-hmm. Now, that, my friend, if you just found that out, is on you. Because that's been discussed since September 5th, I believe.
Okay, no, that's fine. I get it. I knew it wasn't just discussed. I knew that. Sure. I'm just saying that's when I found out. September 5th, at least on my calendar, comes up well after May, which is when we crowdfunded our very own Steve and Kyle.
That long ago?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was May or June. Our very own Steve and Kyle podcast billboard.
We are terrible. We are so bad
Hey,
at following
planning
through.
takes some time on this, okay? As you found out, I mean, you can't just get a billboard up willy-nilly in a few weeks.
It wasn't really that difficult.
I mean, it's in the town you're living in. It makes it easier. We're dealing with a guy in Ohio.
There's the artwork yet to be revealed to the general public yet. So
that is beautiful.
You're one of 3 or 4. Look, don't I look like a real footballer?
Yeah,
like a real sportsman.
Linebacker number. I figured you'd go running back number in the 20s.
I took the first jersey that was tossed to me out of the high school sports trailer.
Okay.
From the man that was giving us that equipment.
But you were the winner.
Big 51. Yeah, big number 51 on the right-hand side there.
So you won the bet. Mm-hmm. The reason... This bet is the reason you picked up your gym going again.
Yeah.
3 months ago now, I want to say.
4 months ago. Yeah.
You ended up winning, so you're not even getting a chance to show off.
I was talking to somebody about that exact thing last night. I was like, man, I was in a way disappointed because I am far from being in great shape, but I'm in much better shape than I was 4 months ago. I was like, kind of wanted to, hey, check this out. Check out these guns.
Well, lucky for you, you have a second billboard going up.
That's true. So I should be nude on that one?
Yeah, it's just going to be my face, and you're going to be, topless wearing spandex biker shorts next to me, and nobody's going to understand. Mm-hmm. But that's your only option.
Yeah. So, it's a big couple months for me. I'm going to be on 2 different billboards. Actually, this one, we were under the impression it was going to be on 3 billboards. I don't know why, but somebody had given us the number. Yeah, it's going to be on 3 billboards.
Okay.
And it's going to run for, we thought, like 3 or 4 days. But it turns out it's going to be on about 15 billboards.
Hey.
And it's running for a week and a half.
Boy, I don't even want to ask the budget for that, knowing what we paid.
Oh, I have no idea. This was a radio station.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it worked out well. We kind of strong-armed them into paying for it. We're like, hey, look, we're doing this billboard, so we have this idea. It's going to be 4 months of promotion, so see what you can do about getting us a billboard. And then they just kind of said, well, okay. And now there's
15 billboards.
Yeah, they did some big buy. We're going to be on 15 different billboards. It's going to run starting Monday morning, and then it's going to run for a week and a half.
So, a week and a half. Okay. So here's more of an aggressive time frame.
Yeah, this is a like massive media rush.
Any of those going to be illuminated, Steve?
They're all digital.
Backlit. I appreciate the old way.
You appreciate it when a man's got to climb a ladder and use that squeegee to put the thing up there.
2 to 4, like 300-watt halogen bulbs.
Those big flood bulbs
lighting our faces at night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going 2019 here. We're going digital billboards.
Cute. But needless to say, my gripe still stands.
Okay.
It feels like yet another stolen bit by your side gig.
The timing was uncanny.
They can claim all they want. They don't know what we're talking about. They don't know what we're doing.
There was that instance where Free Beer wanted to name something the Fast Five.
Yeah.
And everyone else was on board, and I thought that it was a joke until I realized, no, of course it's not a joke. None of them listen to the podcast.
They have no idea.
So they have no clue. So I had to say, hey, you guys can, we can still use it for the radio show. But just so you know, it's been a long-running bit on the old SKP.
And then they said, what's that mean?
And I said, it's the Steve and Kyle podcast. And then they said, what's that mean? I said, it's 2 random guys I know named Steve and Kyle, and they do a podcast.
It's the explanation we have to give to everybody.
Yeah.
Even when it's me, Kyle, giving that, and you, Steve, giving that, they have to continually ask, what's that? And that brings up a point I wanted to ask you. Now, we go out, not as much recently, but we'll go out with a couple of friends from Katie's work or people that I haven't really met before, but she knows, and we'll get to talking, and somehow me doing a podcast will come up. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you get this, but I'll get the question a lot saying, well, what's it about?
What's it about? Yeah. I get that all the time for the radio show, especially for anyone who doesn't listen. What do you do? And I always try to bury it.
Yeah, sure.
Last week we had 4 different people come out and give us estimates because we have to get some windows replaced here at the house. And inevitably, as they're sitting there doing their measuring, so what do you do? And I figured out a new way to gloss right over it. I say, I work for a radio station downtown, and my wife repairs violins and gives violin lessons.
Yeah, you skip past it and move on to the other one.
Because inevitably they say, oh, that's really interesting. Well, what does she do with violin? Where does she work? And what my daughter plays the violin. It's always a perfect sidetrack.
But is that conversation really better for you? You don't?
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh, definitely.
Well,
I don't know, because inevitably the question always comes up, what do you do at the radio station? Mm-hmm. And I always just want to say, sales. Because nobody's got a follow-up for that. No one's ever like, oh, radio sales. That's exciting.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. So what's the going rate for a live endorsement 60?
But in reality, that question for anybody in radio, it doesn't really work unless you're doing a sports show.
Yeah.
Because you can. Well, what's it about? Half of the people on radio are doing 70-second bits between songs,
Right.
and then half of them are doing, or a third of them are doing sports, and the other people are doing a show, like a show.
Sure.
So, but I struggle with that question for us, and maybe the listening audience can help with probably not hurtful words at all about
No, definitely not.
what is this about?
What do we do?
Because I struggle to define it, and so I end up, stumbling through words like both our lives and pop culture and what's going on. But we're not talking current events here. You spent 30 minutes recapping a billboard and then 15 minutes talking about if Guantanamo detainees heard Steve buying a garage door open. How can I put that into words that people will understand?
You have to say it in the way that you described it. Mm-hmm. When we first launched this podcast, and it has remained to this day, like in the About section on Facebook and Twitter. Like, well, John, it's a somewhat irreverent and definitely off the cuff, mostly uncoordinated look at whatever is on me and Steve's minds.
Boy, that fits.
Because
I don't want to brag, but I nailed that.
No one's going to have a follow-up. No one's going to be like, because they're just going to be like, oh, cool. You sound like a dick.
Here's a question for you. Now, this billboard we have is going to be up for a month.
Mm-hmm. Do we use it to make a social statement?
Ooh, should we be kneeling?
Oh, boy. Maybe we use it to talk trash about the government.
Yeah, maybe we could buy like a Halloween costume or fake masks with, presidential candidates on it.
Yeah.
Right? Stick it to the people.
Yeah.
But then put just at the bottom, SteveandKyle.com.
Find out more. Learn more at SteveandKyle.com.
And then they're going to listen and go, the hell is this?
What am I listening to?
But my question to you is, now this thing's going to be up for a month. At some point in that month, should you and I reboot our our podcast series here and just be like, give a fresh start so the new jumpies from the Van Wert area have a fresh point to jump on?
So you're saying start over?
Yeah, just act like we have not recorded 125 to 130 episodes.
So if we want to go back to episode 1, I'm going to have to sit over here. It's going to sound like this, and then you'll be...
You'll be like this. What do you mean, man?
Oh, the lost episode.
But no, I think maybe we'll we'll record a little disclaimer that we can put in front of a few of those episodes.
Welcome, Van
Wertians.
Van Wertians.
Van Wert.
It's like Martians. Van Wertians.
I don't mind Van Wertians. It's
it.
better than what we've come up with, which is Van Wertians. I wanted to shorten it when we started talking about this to Van Warts.
I mean, look, I think that there's a chance that could be it. Maybe when we're there, when we're sitting at Frickers, when we're eating the chicken that no doubt a woman named Tammy brings us out on a plate.
I'm excited for that chicken, Steve. Frickers Chicken Wednesday nights. That's your $7.99 all you can eat tender basket. That's right. This portion of the Steve and Kyle podcast brought to you by Frickers Chicken.
Be a good Van Wert. Stop in daily.
Why aren't we doing more ads?
I think we just...
we called residents Van Warts. Like, that can't be one thing that they like. But okay, yeah, I think maybe we'll do that. So if when this happens, obviously 10 weeks away, so a ways off, we'll record a little disclaimer welcoming the new listeners because, I don't want to brag, but it's 28,000 weekly impressions on this billboard.
28K, huh?
It's 28,000 sets of eyeballs, Steve, every week.
That's 56,000 eyeballs. Well, 112 for 4 weeks.
Remember,
Well, 28,000
a week.
Yeah,
56,000.
that's what I'm saying. But 56,000 individual eyeballs.
Individual eyes. So you think?
I mean, you have to assume 56. I'm sure it's probably 55, 600 or something.
Right.
You think there's a couple hundred people in Van Wert that only have one eye?
Yeah, I think a couple hundred is being generous.
All right. If you are in a one-eyed Van Wert, we need to hear from you.
You jump to the top of the list.
Yeah, you're the go-to for everything. Everything, we call you first.
Oh man. So yeah, that's the billboard coming up. Less than 10 weeks away. So we're going to start putting some design ideas together. I don't think though, Steve, we're going to tell anybody what the design is.
No.
I don't think until you and I arrive there, we'll have the final proof that I'm sure they'll send and say this is what it's going to look like. And I think we're trying to recruit Philip or to Zach, give us a hand, maybe Zach to give us a hand designing this thing.
I do have one request though. If somebody is going to be there and you're you don't have to be a photographer, but if you have a nice camera or something, I would love to get a picture of the two of us standing
on the billboard.
Not on the billboard. I don't think they'll let us do that.
I got a ladder.
I would love for there to be a picture of the two of us standing there with the billboard in the background. Maybe, I don't know, do that thing where it's like focused on us, so the background is a little bit out of focus. But you can still make out what the billboard says. Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, I would love that. That would be a defining moment in my young fledgling podcast career.
Or maybe we can even, I'd be willing to pony up a few dollars for a photographer to come out and take 3 pictures of us.
Yeah, but it's in Van Wert. It's going to be a photographer that sticks their head underneath the cape and then
stand still for 47 minutes. I'll wind the wheel.
And then that big explosion goes off.
That's right. We're going to be photographed in Van Wert the same way Abraham Lincoln was photographed.
Yeah. And you see what happened to him. Oh. See how that went. Not great for old Honest Abe.
Where'd honesty get you?
Got you dead. That's where it got you.
Okay. We digress. There's a couple other things I needed to bring up. One, Steve. I need to tell you something that I have been waiting. This isn't even on the list. I have been waiting 100 weeks to tell you something.
That's just shy, a whisker shy of 2 years. So something that has been on your mind for since February, the end of February of 2017?
Something I've been doing for 100 weeks.
And did you just decide this is the 100th week? I'm going to reveal it?
I didn't just decide it. I knew this was the 100th week, and I knew I was going to... Now, this is very... Is this
going to be like a montage of stupid things?
No, it's no audio. It's nothing. This is something that I have been doing totally under the radar, and I think
involving this podcast?
Yeah, and I think you've noticed, but it's never really struck you that it's happened every week for, as of today... 100 weeks.
I've been that obtuse.
It's hard for me to even say that because it's not something you notice. I'll say this. It's something you see me do, see me every week with this. Do you have any ideas on what it could possibly be related to?
Something I see you with every week.
Yeah.
You bring a cup with you every week?
I don't even have that this week.
Okay, streak broken. You wear a hat every week? Is it your shirt? Have you worn the same shirt every week?
Steve, for 100 weeks.
Have you worn that shirt?
I have worn, not this shirt. I have 4 shirts with this exact same design. It is... And I thought
incredible.
I thought last week. I thought for sure you're going to notice it because you mentioned it. So I
know. See, I see you. Obviously, I know that you're a huge fan of comics, superheroes, and things like that. So I know that you have a lot of those shirts.
Yep.
But yeah, maybe. Do you only have 4 of them, and this is the only time you wear them?
Yep.
Are you serious?
100 weeks.
Oh, please tell me you have a video that you took of
No.
you, like, week 1. Let's see if Idiot notices.
I wish I did. All I did took this last night and laid out all 4 of those shirts that I have that I wear on an exact rotation every 4 weeks to this podcast. And it is, I'll post this picture.
It is unbelievable.
If you're wondering what it is, Wonder No Longer won the pictures on our social media, Twitter.
So it's a Calvin and Hobbes knockoff.
Yeah.
So that one is Freddy.
This is Freddy Krueger.
Okay.
And Jason Voorhees.
Okay.
4 icons as Calvin and Hobbes. And in case you're wondering what it is, Wonder No Longer. Go to steveandkyle.com/merch because it is our newest design.
Yeah.
Colorized and drawn by the wonderful Philip in our Redbubble store. Again, that's steveandkyle.com/merch. I will be buying that.
steveandkyle.com/store also works.
Oh,
too.
perfect. I will be adding that one to the collection any day now, Steve.
That's incredible.
100 weeks.
My God.
I thought for sure.
I can't believe that. Like I said, I know that you have a lot of shirts like that.
Yeah.
But I would have never realized that it was the same 4 every week.
But I think you would have noticed. Well, one, if it was the same one every week, you would have noticed. And I think
I don't know.
I even think if it was the same 2, I think where you're, and it's not, but where it's okay that obviously you didn't notice, is that 4 is like it's once a month.
Even if I had noticed, I don't think I would have said anything because I would have just assumed like, oh, it's Sunday.
Shirt.
Sunday. It's laundry day. Maybe that's like the go-to shirt when everything else is in the laundry. That's incredible. So did you start this 100 weeks ago? Did you start it with the intention of doing that?
Yeah. There's only 2 other people that know. My wife, Katie, and my good friend, Chris, who I kept in the loop.
Okay.
And I told him, and I said, I don't know if I'll ever tell him.
So would you send him a text every Sunday afternoon and be like, yeah, Idiot didn't notice again?
No, because at that point, that's 100 times. And if you don't notice at 20, if you don't notice at 40, what's going to change at 60 or 80?
So at what point did you say, I'm holding out to 100 and then I can't go any longer?
I got to like 75. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I got past 50 because I almost thought about just saying it at a year. At 52, I said, I'll just do it for 52. Then we just cruised past 52. We got past like 60, and I said, maybe I'll go to 100 if he doesn't notice. And at that point, again, we've talked about this. We don't even know if this podcast is going to go 100. That's why we don't really number them or say, hey, welcome to Steve and Kyle Podcast, episode 1, blah, 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 because we don't know.
We're somewhere around 130-something now,
yeah.
I think. I put it in the description just because I have to put something in that field.
Yeah, that's the subtitle. This is episode 132 this week.
This is like a couple of years ago, there was I think it was like a guy from the Australian Today Show.
Yeah.
That did that same thing. He wore the same suit and shirt on camera every day for a year, and no one noticed it. And it was to prove a point about how in the media, how different genders are critiqued, are analyzed. And it was no one said a thing about what he wore, but his co-host, who was a female, every day they'd show tweets of like, what is she wearing that for? Look at that. She looks terrible. She looks fat.
Okay.
That doesn't look good on her. That color's awful for her.
Making that social stance or how it's different for women. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
This is much dumber.
Yeah. No social stance at all.
I mean, thanks for noticing. Jerk.
I think it just shows that I focus on the content of your character.
Sure.
Instead of the shirts that adorn you.
Yeah. And I thought for sure
that sounded nice. That should be on like one of those wood planks that hangs up in a kitchen.
Yeah, you hang that over your slider door to go out back.
Yeah, next to like bless this mess and to drink wine, it's fine.
Well, I need those on shirts. Bless this mess. Drink wine, it's fine. So, boy, because I tell you what, Philip has a backlog, and I think Philip's going to help us design this billboard, Steve. But we've got the Limbless Dog Association charity box off, Limbs for Limbs. Mm-hmm. He's got to do the tea train, Steve's tea train that we talked about a couple of weeks ago.
What was that? I don't even remember.
Oh, God, I don't even know how we got talking about it. But we were talking about I don't know, something. We're getting into a train that has your face on the front like a Thomas.
Thomas.
Train,
Yeah, Thomas the Train.
But it's a teacup. I don't know. Hell if I know, man. This thing runs in the weirdest circles of the internet, and yet we still can't get listeners. You'd think after a while all these weird circles that we dabble in would gain weird random niche groups to jump on and listen.
Yeah,
that's not true.
Our Venn diagram has no overlap whatsoever.
None whatsoever. So 100 weeks, Steve. I thought for sure 2 weeks ago when we unveiled the newest Philip design that we posted on our store, and you actually looked. You were looking at the design. You said, "Yeah, it's just like the one on your shirt." I was like,
here it comes."
I thought for sure you're gonna. Yeah, I mean, you wear those. I would see you wearing those a lot.
I would have said that, but I would have said, "Oh yeah, you wear the Calvin and Hobbes shirts a lot," but I still never would have realized. So you're telling me that even the days that, because there have been a couple days where you've had to come here straight from work,
brought the shirt 2 weeks ago.
Changed in the car or had it on underneath your work shirt?
2 weeks ago, Monday. We recorded Monday afternoon.
You are way too committed to this because there's no chance I'd ever do that.
100 weeks. And I think the thing I'm most excited about now is I told Katie last night, I don't think I'm going to wear any of these shirts for 6 months.
You're tired of them.
But I thought
they're tattered and worn.
I said, realistically, I'm only wearing them once a month.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. But
so you don't wear them any other time?
No, because I wear them once a week. Like, I've got a million T-shirts. I don't need to do this.
Now, when you get home today, do you take that shirt off and put a different shirt on?
No, I'll leave this on for the rest of the day now, and then I'll throw it in the laundry basket. But next week is a new beginning, Steve, and it's done. I'm just going to wear what I feel like wearing going forward because you see it's like 12 degrees out, and I've got a T-shirt. And I've been doing that for 100 episodes through the winters, through the springs, summers, and falls. But the winters, sometimes I used to put a long sleeve shirt underneath it, the Sheldon from Big Bang Theory look.
Right.
But most of the time, I just throw it on. I'm walking out there in 8-degree weather wearing a T-shirt to keep this stupid thing going that, again, nobody cared about, and Steve didn't notice, but I was able to do for 100 weeks. So I'm glad.
You could have gone 100 more.
Oh, there's no question. There's no question.
I mean, if I didn't notice after, I would say 20, then, yeah, you could have gone for eternity.
Sure. I mean, again, this is just under 2 years.
I would have gone another 4 weeks and made it 2 years.
Yeah, I could have done that. I was so ready. I'm just ready to be able to wear a different piece of shirt over here.
Different piece of shirt.
Just anything else. And I like these shirts. But it's every week, and I know which one to wear every week. I knew the 4-week rotation. It was the Calvin and Hobbes one. It went Spider-Man Venom. Then it went Rocket, Raccoon, and Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy. This is the 4th of the 4 weeks, which is Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger. So I got my drawer. Those would be on one of my T-shirt drawers on the left side. These would essentially be the top 4 shirts in the winter and fall because I'd be wearing long sleeve shirts or whatever. I just rotate, just pull the one from the bottom, pull the one from the bottom, pull the one.
Remarkable. Well, if you want to be a Kyle, go to stephenkyle.com/merch or stephenkyle.com/store. You can see the Calvin and Hobbes design, which I'm sure is some kind of intellectual property, copyright infringement.
I don't think so, because isn't this like it's an homage? I mean, I'm
not sure.
I think we can do it. It's drawn by somebody else.
If they want to sue us for all of the money we've made off of it,
yeah,
okay. But that reminds me of big thanks to Crystal, who tweeted at us early this morning.
Yeah.
She said, sometimes you go to Iceland and rep Stephen Kyle while jet-lagged on the first day, and there she is standing in front of, I don't know what that, some kind of monument, some kind of building.
Is it a glacier?
It's not a glacier. It's
Iceland's green.
Definitely a man-made building of some kind. And there she is wearing a fantastic Piano Pals hoodie. Thank you very much, Crystal. That's great. So I tweeted back at her and I said, look at that. We've gone international. To which Zach just replied a little while ago.
Very unhappy.
Saying, did you already forget that the podcast went international in 2017? And there's Zach. I believe he was in London.
Yeah.
I see a double-decker bus in the background.
Wearing the World Tour shirt.
Wearing the original. The OG. It's the OG T-shirt right there. The original World Tour 2017?
Yeah, 2017.
Yeah, 2017 shirt.
We've also got, Dave, our friend, Adam Porvecchio has taken it all around the United States, Washington, D.C., toured with the Steve and Kyle shirt.
It's like really, we're like Flat Stanley.
Really amazing. It hasn't resulted in any listeners.
I know. Not even one.
We've got a couple other ideas in the pipe, though. We're not going to talk about them now because I don't want to mention something and then not follow through as we want to do on this podcast. But I have a couple other ideas that I want to do. I don't know if they'll be crowdfunded, no, but like big events, things to do for this podcast. I have a couple ideas that I think fit in with our billboard style marketing, Steve.
Okay.
One we've talked about pretty extensively off air that I think we're going to do, but I don't think we're going to crowdfund it.
Give me a hint.
Has to do with the introduction. I'm going to recruit.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
But I have another one. It has to do with marketing that we'll talk about, and maybe it will come to fruition. I hate to be foreboding, but I don't want to say anything and then have it never come out because
we try not to undersell and over deliver.
Sure.
Try to oversell.
No, we try undersell, over deliver.
Yeah, we try to undersell, over deliver.
Yeah, and that's what happened here with a billboard in Van Wert, Ohio.
Yeah, we had a GoFundMe set up, and we were taking donations before we even
had a location.
Yeah,
before we even knew anything about billboards. It's not like we had reached out to this guy Joe and gotten quotes for this location before. No, this was. So people who donated, again, thank you very much last year. I'm going to try to print that list, and hopefully everybody can show up. But, maybe we can get some merch for this trip. If you show up, we can give it to you, hand it out, all 2 people.
Yeah. StephenKyle.com/merch if you want to check out, again, the most recent additions to the store. Yeah,
we've got the like you mentioned, the Calvin Hobbes design, and very quickly I did post 2 more. One was a request. Somebody had sent us a message on Redbubble saying, I wish I could have bought this one. I didn't even think about it. Zach was making a logo for us and claiming he didn't have a good picture of me. Instead, used
is that Bebop or Rocksteady?
I don't know. Used his own drawing, digital art of Bebop or Rocksteady, the just disgusting villain from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
What are
comic
Bebop
books.
and Rocksteady?
That's a good question. We've looked this up.
They're kind of like pigs, right?
Yeah, we've looked this up. I think one's like a warthog. Bebop and Rocksteady are 2 fictional characters, Steve. Fictional characters.
Oh.
In the animated television series Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Giving me their abilities. That doesn't help me. Wanted more characters relief. Bebop. Yeah, it just says introduced as part of a human street gang in New York City that was employed by Shredder. Rocksteady was short and stocky blonde Caucasian man. Bebop was a taller African-American man with a purple mohawk.
All right, so you're Rocksteady.
Okay, yep, I'm Rocksteady. So, of course, again, I believe just described as tall, handsome African... The Idris Elba, if you will.
Right, yeah.
I'm Idris Elba. Thank you very much.
You know, that's how I describe you. And then the portrayal of me... it's just a nondescript Caucasian man with a beard and Polly Walnut's hair, and it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, so Bebop is a black rhinoceros. Rocksteady is the Rocksteady mutated into a humanoid black rhinoceros. Bebop mutated into a humanoid mutant.
Oh, so you're a
warthog.
So you're a humanoid mutant warthog. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's really nice.
Thanks, Zach. So somebody messaged. So that design is posted. You can check that out. Again, StephenKyle.com/merch.
Did they then follow up and buy it?
Nope.
It's all right.
And then
it's
also,
not like it takes hours to put those stupid things together.
It's kind of dumb. It took me way too long because I also added the logo.
I think you might want to adjust the logo on the mug here. Although I guess it doesn't matter.
I think that's just the way the mug is framed. But again, I'll double check that. And if you see any issues like that with the design, the way it looks on a piece, and you want it changed, let us know. I can do that in seconds.
Yeah, the hardcover journal just looks silly too.
Oh, it shouldn't even be available. Oh, no, it doesn't. If you open that hardcover journal, Steve, front and back.
Front and back, pages side down.
That's the way that Redbubble... I didn't even activate that. That's the way Redbubble put that on there by default. I usually check to remove those things.
This is keeping us from making a bunch of sales.
I check to remove those options because nobody's ever going to buy that.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for the miniskirt to show up at a night show or a live show. Come on. Maybe a studio pouch.
But then also the design, there's the straight font that Zach made for us, and it's Cheers-esque of the Steve and Kyle podcast. You can buy that as well. Mm-hmm. All our other designs are on there. Check that out again, steveandkyle.com/merch.
Yeah. Now, last week we left off. I was very excited.
Oh, man, were you giddy.
I was excited.
Now, I'll say this. I told Katie last night. I said, I can't wait to talk to Steve about this tomorrow. I've been waiting all week to hear. You left here. You had a bounce in your step. You were excited as can be. You thought, this is the day.
This could be it.
This person seems serious enough that they're going to buy the Jeep today.
Well, this person wanted to meet up to look at the Jeep. I was hoping that they would be serious enough to want to. But at this point, it's been a couple months since we've had any real interest. So this was somebody who sent me a message and said, I want to come look at it. Okay, cool. Sunday, I got nothing to do. Call up my buddy Cy Nolan Ryan Young. We arranged to drive over to grandmother's house, take it out of storage. So we get there, and as expected, battery 100% dead. So we had to throw it in neutral, roll it on out of the garage.
Minor setback for a major comeback, right, Steve?
I expected the battery to be dead. It's been extremely cold here lately, and it's just been sitting. So put the jumper cables on, let it charge up the battery for a few minutes, and then vroom, it roars to life.
Man, that rebuilt engine.
Nope, no engine engine wasn't touched.
Rebuilt Jeep, rebuilt front end.
Go.
Yeah,
there you go. You got it.
The murder Jeep lives.
So we had plans to meet this man at I think 1:00. So had a couple extra minutes. The gas tank the light was on, and even though it was only the gas light, I still we said we shouldn't show up with any lights on the dash. So let's stop by the gas station. We'll put $10 worth of gas in it. And one of the tires was a little bit low too, so that light was on the dash too. I'm like, it just looks bad even though those are both simple fixes. One of them put gas in, one of them put air in. I just wanted to put our best foot forward. So we pull up to the gas station, pull right up to the pump. I'm driving out of what do you do when you get to a gas station? What's the first thing you do? Like when you're getting out of the car, what do? Right. You shut the car off, take the key. As soon as I shut the car off, I was like, no! Tried to start it back up. Click, 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 click.
It's cold here.
Real cold. So the battery hadn't charged enough yet. So we had left the jumper cables back at grandmother's house. So then I have to walk up to a very nice woman at the gas pump next to us. Do you have jumper cables? Yes, I don't know how to use them though. That's okay. If you could, I would appreciate it so much if you could just pull up in front of us. Well, you don't even have to get out of your car. We'll hook the cables up. Very nice woman. Helped us out. Couldn't have been nicer. So we're back on the road again. Drive to the meeting spot where we're going to meet this person. And he pulls up a few minutes later. And he gets out, introductions, shake hands. Hey, how's it going? And he starts asking a couple basic questions about it. And I noticed right away, and Chris later said that he noticed it too, that the first thing he said when he got out of the car was, okay, so which one of you is selling this? And I said, well, we're both, it's in his name, but
yeah,
both of us are invested in it.
It's a weird question, right?
Kind of.
Like you're obviously both there.
Yeah.
Okay. But he's communicated with one person. Maybe he's just wondering, who have I been talking to?
Sure.
You know?
So I was like, well, technically both of us, it's in his name, but we both have equal amount of money into it. Well, as soon as I said that, he stopped listening to anything I had to say, which was weird. So he'd ask a question, and I'd be in the middle of giving an answer, and then he would just turn and say something to Chris. I'd be like, yeah, well, the axle, it's out of a 2017. Okay, so this over here is this.
Wow.
And I was like,
Just not interested in what... Okay.
Either that or just rude. I mean, just being very rude. Like, he was asking questions, but then wasn't really listening to the answer.
Yeah.
And I think I'm pretty good at picking up on when I'm talking to somebody if they're not listening at all. This being one of those very easy times to figure out when he just was ignoring me. So, I'm like, all right, well, whatever. I mean, I don't care. I don't care if he, doesn't listen to a word I say.
Whatever. Cut a check. I don't care.
If at the end of the day, yeah, he says, I'll take it. So we hop in the car. He's like, oh, can we take it for a spin? No problem. So we take it down the road, out onto the one road. He gets it up to like 70 miles an hour. We spin around at the next U-turn, come back, go back to the parking lot.
So he didn't go out and, go to the ATM, go get some groceries, go run errands or anything.
No,
normal.
No,
all
this
normal.
This was a 10-minute test drive. We're in the car with him the whole time. He's continuing to ask questions. I'm giving answers, getting talked over every time. So I thought, okay, this is just one of those guys that just...
God, that's disappointing, though.
Just likes to hear himself talk. No big deal. So then we get back, and he didn't really make us an offer, but he said, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of looking to be in this range. And he mentioned like $5,000 less than we have into it, but he never actually said, I'll give you...
Like, never was a dollar amount offered to you.
No, he just said what he was looking to spend, which I guess technically would... Because we could have... If I had said, yeah, sounds good, we probably would have made a deal right there.
Sure.
But it wasn't worth it. And so he was like, oh, don't worry, though. You guys will sell it. You'll sell it. I'm like, that's weird. But I'm still like the eternal optimist with this whole thing. So we get in the car after we parted ways, and he's like, because I specifically said to him, all right, well, go home, think about it. And if you decide later that you're interested, shoot me a message. Let me know. Okay. Sounds good. So we get back in the car, and I'm saying to Chris, I'm like, yeah, I think he's going to buy it. And Chris is like, what the hell are you? No, there's not a chance he's going to buy it. There's no chance in the world. So Chris seemed to think that the guy was looking to buy it from us and then turn a quick profit off on it for a couple grand or whatever. He was hoping he'd be able to get it quite a bit lower, flip it, make some money off of it. So the big update is that the Jeep has not been sold, and now it is covered with road salt. It was so immaculate before that.
Coming up on 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
Brings us to our polls this week, which are very disappointing to me.
What was that?
I posted, if Steve sold the Jeep today, would it still be a success? Let me pull that up, actually, Steve, because I want to see how I phrased it, because I think I made it very fair to you. I phrased it so that you made it very clear. You needed to be known that you weren't incurring any losses while you're holding on to it.
There's been the last expense other than like $8 in gas the other day was August 21st was the day that we paid for the registration on it.
Okay.
So that was the last time that a dime has been put into that vehicle.
On Twitter, it was posted, and Facebook as well. Facebook.com/Steve and Kyle. That's Twitter at Steve and Kyle. Be sure to check out our poll there. I actually posted 2 this week. We'll see if we have time for me to even get to the second poll, because I'm all riled up about it again, Steve. I'm all upset. On Twitter, if Steve were to sell his Jeep today, would it be considered a success after 7 months, even if they haven't had any payments? More than 100 votes on that one, Steve.
Wow. I saw the poll go up last week, and I purposely avoided it. What do you got?
Well, 73% appreciate long-term holds, I guess, because 73% of people agree if you sold it today, it would be a success.
Yeah.
It wouldn't.
But what is your...
It wouldn't.
And remind me why again? Because it's because ultimately the goal, when we did this, of course, the goal is to sell it as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
But now I could be completely wrong, but I don't think that there was ever a time where I said, I need to sell this within a month.
No.
Or I need to sell it within 2 months. What is your cutoff? Like, where would your cutoff of success be?
Well, here's my experience with you in this Jeep. It's been giddy excitement. Yeah, came up with, and this is out of character for you, naming this non-business second chance Jeeps that you guys are going to start taking Jeeps and flipping them and making
also
coin.
It's all a lot of that tongue in cheek.
Sure, obviously, yeah. I mean, we talked about for a while. We didn't even want to do music or anything intro on here, just because let's not get ahead of ourselves. But with that, I think incurs a little bit of the word's not liability, but the idea that you weren't buying this for yourself. You weren't buying this to keep for 8 months. The idea was to do this continually, some extra paper,
sure. Maybe one a year, 2 a year,
little extra money in the bank. You make a few extra whatever, $100, $1,000 every time you do it. You enjoy doing it. But at what point, and this is my question, at what point is it more of a headache than it's been worth it?
Well, first of all, don't answer a question with a question, because I need to know at what point. Going back to my original question, at what point?
2 months.
2 months?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 months from done.
Based on all of your...
at that point, it's just a waste of time.
All of your experience in
it's just a waste
in
of
the field.
I'll tell you this. I've sold a few cars. I think you've sold some cars. You've sold some stuff. Anything on the market. You've sold homes. 2 months. After 2 months.
See, I disagree.
Listen,
I disagree.
If you don't think not selling a vehicle after 2 months...
It's disappointing, but we have to wait until I actually do sell it. Because if I still make a profit off of it, it's still a successful sale. I don't understand how you don't...
Let me ask you this.
So, okay, hypothetical situation. Yeah, you buy a new lawnmower. You want to sell your old lawnmower.
Yeah.
And you say, man, I want to sell this for $100 in the next week.
Yeah.
If it takes 3 weeks... and then you sell it for $80. Is that still a success?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
1 to 3 weeks.
So 6 months down the road, it's not still...
It's not an $80 lawnmower. It's thousands of dollars. No, I know what the defense is. You don't need the cash.
Yeah, but meaning that it would be even more worth it than the example I just gave.
At what point? Because now this Jeep's a year older. It's a year older from when you started. The value doesn't increase as the Jeeps get older.
Sure.
Traditionally, it's going to go down, whatever. Even if it doesn't matter if it's not being used. It's even a tiny, tiny bit. At what point are you going to just have to... At what point do you not bite the bullet,
right,
but shave your margins down even further? What point do you think that that's your best avenue?
See, because right now we have, for the price we have it at, we have about, if we were to sell it for exactly what we were asking for.
Is that me?
That was me. I felt that
I can always feel like I feel, maybe, boy.
You're having it's like the equivalent of labor pains.
Well, it's like, maybe because it's coming from your throat microphone into my ears.
Yeah.
And maybe the vibrations.
Do you have your headphones up abnormally loud
maybe
today?
Way too loud, because holy cow, I felt that one in my... right deep in my throat. Deep.
Oh, boy. That was good. So anyway, let me get back to what I was saying, because we're crunched for time. But we right now we have a profit margin of about $4,000.
Okay.
We talked last week. If he had made us an offer that would have only made us $3,000, we would have taken it.
But the fact is, he offered you where you would have lost.
Yeah, we would have lost $1,000.
And that's obviously at this point, especially.
Yeah, I mean it's going. Yeah, it's going to get to a point where we're just going to be like, all right, we just need to break even on it. Because I think if we lowered it, I'm very confident that we would sell it in a week. If we lowered it by $4,000, and just said, screw it, let's break even, it would be gone.
But the problem is, if you at this point, even if you lower it $1,000, you're not. Presumably, you're not going to get that full price.
Sure.
So you're essentially accepting a loss of, let's say, $2,000. Not a loss.
That's why I'd rather keep it a little bit higher so that way the low ball that we're no doubt going to get isn't going to be as low. I don't know. I haven't lost a lot of sleep over it. I get very excited, and I'm very impatient with stuff like this. And
but that's why this has been surprising. You said you're impatient with stuff like this. So that's why as we drone on to month number 8, there's nothing you can really do.
I'm impatient, but exactly. I can't make someone buy it. It would be one thing if we had it and it still had a lot of work to be done to it. Then I'd be like impatient, like, we got to do this now. We got to get this part, take it apart, put it back together, get it out on the road. But now I'm at the point where it doesn't matter how impatient I am or how patient I am. There's nothing I can do. I could take it and park it at the grocery store with a for sale sign on it. Park it at the Home Depot with a for sale sign on it.
Sure.
And, maybe get a little bit of interest on it, but I don't know. I think that's the plan come spring, is that we're going to start strategically placing it in different areas, hoping that somebody will look at it and be interested. But I just I would like to move on. I'm ready to recoup my investment.
Right. And again, it's not money you need. It's not like you're,
Well, after getting absolutely kicked in the balls with a window replacement estimates over the last week
you could use it.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
It would be nice. As you know, the old outbuilding, oh boy, back burner.
As of right now, a permanent hiatus.
Not happening.
Not in discussion.
We are already talking about, maybe we'll just do a
shed,
like a 10 by 12 shed that you can get at Home Depot.
Kit, put it together. You and I can get out there.
Oh, you're stopping by. You're going to be
hammer some wrenches.
Yeah, putting in the old elbow work.
Putting in the old elbow grease. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd love to put together a 10 by 12er. It's already pre-built. What could go wrong?
Yeah, they basically just drop it off on a truck.
You gotta level that.
Yeah, it's helpful.
How do you do that
with a level?
I mean, they got like little legs that you screw on. If you got to level one side off,
you put down you level the ground first. Maybe put down some gravel.
I'll come over after that.
Okay,
you do that part.
So once the hard part's done,
I'll help you put up the pre-built pieces.
You'll be the shingle getter,
and then you give me a hammer and a wrench, and I'll beat one on the other, and that's how we'll make it work.
That's how it goes.
So, but the reason I brought this up again, or that I wanted to discuss this again, because obviously it's not sold, and I do feel bad about that. I feel like the Jeep should be sold.
You've seen it. It's a nice looking vehicle.
It's a very nice looking Jeep.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't know if it's just the market. Obviously, the season doesn't help. Automobile buying season is not really right.
I was a little worried when we didn't get it on the market until late August.
Right. It's a summer, and it's just like
I feel
homes.
like if that thing goes on the market in June as opposed to August, everyone who wants to take it for a test drive, we take the hardtop off, we take the doors off. Thing sells itself. A little more difficult to take the hardtop and the doors off in January.
Let me ask you this. It's not sold. So it comes out in the spring. May rolls around. We shoot a music like a music video style video.
Like those used car commercials that go viral.
But this one, we're going to have like some badass guitar riffs while Steve takes the Jeep, big boy vroom vroom up the sand hill.
Oh boy.
You got your little orange flag flapping in the wind.
Yep.
You're in a helmet behind the driver's seat. Ripping up the hill, doing zigzags.
Wait, behind the driver's seat?
Well, behind the driver, behind the steering wheel. Okay. Going zigzag up the sand hill, kicking sand from all the tires. And we post that on Craigslist and on the marketplace. Raise the price $3,000.
Okay. So you want to show us beating the crap out of the vehicle?
No, we want
and then asking more for it.
No, we're going to show what it can do, Steve.
Oh, okay. Maybe we'll show it like towing a house.
Yeah.
Going head to head with a rhino.
Like Warrant's Cherry Pie playing. It's a music video.
Bikini clad women rolling across the hood.
But we forget to drown out that audio, so you just hear the hood crunching as a woman rolls around on it and kicks the window with high heels.
Okay.
I think that's the next sales pitch. We shoot a music video style video to sell that Jeep in the spring and summer.
Okay. Do Do you know anyone who can shoot a video like that?
No. You've got an iPhone. I've got a Pixel.
Oh, I have iMovie.
We've got this video thing that we use for our audio.
We can get, I'm sure that Kevin MacLeod has a sound-alike to Cherry Pie, right?
Oh, we'll just send in a request. We're good friends. But yeah, with over 220 votes, Steve, the public sides with you. 73% say yes, it would be considered a success. I just disagree. I feel like it's been held with the public too long. Yeah. I think it would change it. Now, if you're making payments on it, I think we can both agree.
Yeah, definitely.
You're done. Because at this point, you would be in the red anyway.
Even at that point, it would be based on what if we had paid $500 for it.
Yeah.
And, at this point, we had put $3,000 into it, but it was worth 20. Still worth it.
Yeah. What shocked me, though, was last week we were leaving here. You had some electrical issues, as we talked about. Cy Nolan Ryan Young, your partner here on this Jeep endeavor, walked in, and I heard the words that you were looking at another Jeep.
Always.
And I was beyond thrilled to hear.
Yeah, we drove like an hour to go look at one.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I'm pissed too, because if the black one had been sold, I would have bought that other one. It went for such a low amount. I would have bought that one, fixed it, made that my daily driver, and sold my gray one.
Episode 170 will be Steve, just 45 minutes, trying to sell 2 Jeeps.
2.
The one you have.
I think 3 or 4.
I was beyond excited to hear somebody.
I can't stop, man.
Somebody had the sense, and this somebody is Chris's lovely wife, to say there's no chance in hell you're buying a second Jeep while still on month number 7 of the first Jeep.
Yeah, I think both of our wives, they have a strict one vehicle in, one vehicle out policy.
Seems wise. It turns out you're not running an auto garage.
Yeah.
Well, Steve, I wish you the best of luck. What else? I mean, what else could go wrong?
When I finally sell that thing and I recoup my investment, that'll be the day that we go out for that nice steak dinner we've been talking about, where I get to order your steak, the temperature that I normally order it, medium, of course, and you have to eat it and love it.
All right, so that's the time. So this Jeep sells at the date I got to eat.
So hopefully by the time both of us retire, we're going to be enjoying a steak dinner.
So that's what it's going to take for me to eat a bloody piece of meat.
I'm telling you, man, you're gonna experience flavors like you've never experienced, and you will never go back to the charcoal briquette that you normally get.
I got to tell you, it seems unlikely.
The flavor.
It was very close. I shouldn't even say very close. That's a lie. It was discussed happening in just a mere matter of days that we would be going out for a steak dinner. But we realized that we're in a different tax bracket, Steve.
Yeah.
And now we haven't talked about it. We're going to a comedy show here in a week and a half, 2 weeks, with Jimmy Pardo, who hosts a podcast that I adore and I listen to weekly, and is a fantastic stand-up comic. You had floated the idea that member of your side gig's also going with his wife, and he said, hey, why don't we all go?
The whole side gig is going.
Oh, are they? That same showing?
Whole side, yeah, same show. Yeah.
You floated going to dinner with Free Beer and his wife. I said, sure, that works. That sounds great. Finally get a chance to look the man in his face and accuse him of stealing our bits from this podcast.
Well done.
At dinner with his wife.
Yeah.
He started, so he's, hey, that sounds great.
By the way, Philip just sent us a fantastic T-shirt design.
Yeah, I've been messaging. I saw you DM.
Check it out.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Doesn't that look great?
That'll be up in the store very soon.
Yep, we'll get that up here in the next day. That'll be up by the time you listen to this. But, it progressed pretty quickly. We had talked about going out for dinner before with the show. It just makes sense. We're going to be down there. Might as well go out for a meal. I think you and I kind of understand. Like, hey, if I say, hey, you want to go out for a drink or want to go out for dinner?
Right. We're going to the bar.
Whatever.
There's a bunch of places downtown.
Oh, a ton.
Yeah, like a typical place that you can go and you and your wife can eat dinner, and $40, you're out the door.
Have a drink or two, maybe a few more, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, you'd said, hey, all right, Free Beer mentioned this place, and I'm not going to say the place because it's not like a chain that anybody would recognize. Said, let me check with Katie. She's just back to work. She was off for 12 weeks.
This was actually a place I had suggested to them, having never been there.
Oh, yeah.
But I've always heard...
Very nice.
I've always heard, this is a good place. They're pretty reasonably priced, I think.
For what you're buying there, I would argue yes.
Yeah, not a crazy expense. It's not like a place that you're going to go to and order a steak that's going to cost you $75.
Sure.
And everything's a la carte. It's, I would say, nice middle-of-the-road place.
Yeah.
Good fair prices, and I've always heard that it's a really good food. A friend of mine, her husband used to be like the head chef there.
Oh, okay. I looked at the menu and I said, let me message Katie, and I said, I just don't know based on her just getting back to work. Whatever, I'll get back to her. And the next text from you was, Jesus, now he wants to go to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Now, this is a place that they don't bother putting like prices on an online menu, Steve.
No, because if you're looking up prices, you probably can't afford it.
Yeah.
That is I refer to Ruth's Chris as like a once a year place.
Yeah.
Like
a special occasion place.
Anniversary or birthday or something like that. That is a once a year kind of place. So I quickly bailed on that and I said, I think we were just looking to grab a quick bite before the show. It's not exactly I don't know, it's not a special occasion or anything, and I don't want to spend someone else's money. So I'll probably just me and Annette will probably just go out with Kyle and Katie.
Well, I told you, and I stand by it. You're more than do not stop for if you want to go that, please do.
No, because the original plan was we were going to go. We had talked months ago when we first saw that Pardo was coming here, and we just kind of had the rough layout of hey, we'll get tickets, we'll go out and grab a bite to eat beforehand.
Yeah.
So I am sticking with those plans. I am perfectly happy with those plans because they were the original ones, and I'm not a millionaire. And
again, different-ish tax brackets,
slightly
from you and me to that.
Yeah.
So and Ruth's Chris might be,
and they're I don't fault them at all for wanting to go there.
Right.
I haven't been there, but I was at a similar one. Wonderful restaurant. We went there for our anniversary, and it was excellent food. But yeah, that's I'd feel weird because I'd feel like I'd have to dress up.
Yeah, and you just have to. You are going to look weird. So you're going to end up going to a comedy show in some really, really nice attire that might not necessitate that,
slacks.
Right?
I don't want to wear slacks.
Yeah, not your thing.
To the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah. And two, that has to be a place, and I totally get it, where you go in and it's like, hey, and I say this when we go on vacation and things too. I said, hey, we're going there to have fun. I refuse to fret or allow anybody to fret about what things are going to cost. Like, I understand it's going to, and that's the thing when you go to a Ruth's Chris. Hey, we're going there for this meal for whatever, a special occasion or because we want to and we deserve it. Don't worry about what's on the menu or don't worry about what the bill at the end costs. Do it and enjoy it. That you have to have that kind of spirit. And right now, I just don't. Sure. I couldn't make that work. So sadly,
why
the steakhouse?
Why you mean adding a living being to your family?
Right.
It costs money. I thought that they were just free. Don't they just give out babies?
Maybe the day will come where that is nothing to me. And again, I'm not a steak. I've said this before. I'm not a steak lover.
That's just because you've been eating it wrong all these years.
I would love, and I will do it. I will bring Katie to one of these very nice steak houses because she enjoys a nice steak, as most people do. So it will happen. It's just I know. So the confrontation.
I think that when you finally have your big boy steak, you don't put like ketchup on.
A1.
Nice
dollop of
no,
A1
you don't
on
even
the side.
You don't even get A1.
Dip the
A
A1
steak
in.
Cooked properly does not need A1.
I get some Mrs. Dash, some seasoning, some table seasoning.
So it's not gonna. I hope you're not thinking that you're getting a Ruth's Chris steak. You're getting like an Olive Garden steak.
Good God, no! Where we go when you celebrate the Jeep selling after I'm retired in my 60s, will be a place that you can get a steak. You know, that is normal priced. I don't need to see the animal being slaughtered and see the cut of meat off of the animal that they're about to cook.
Like you actually hear it still mooing.
Oh no, those come from horses.
Oh,
a bunch of neighing.
Yeah, horse steak. By the way, update. Got an email just recently.
God,
from a woman named Donna asking for my email address so her father can email me about the Jeep. So it's basically as good as sold.
Stay tuned next week. The latest disappointment in Steve's Jeep sales.
No, I haven't heard. What the hell was that?
Maybe I was announcing that she's leaving by jumping on the floor.
Is that how it's done?
I mean, I don't know how you guys live over here. You don't have kids. You don't have to worry about waking anything up. Maybe instead of, her sending you a text, say, hey, I'm out of here, she gets off the couch and does one double foot stomp.
Like a half moonsault
on the ground. And she's gone.
Oh, that would be disappointing. All right, now I know that we're a little up against it with time. Do we have time for Fast Five or no?
We probably should. I've been holding on to mine for 3 weeks.
Oh boy, I think I only have 4 on mine. Oh no, I don't. I have 5. All right,
let's do them very quick. Not a lot of turnaround.
That's
time.
why it's the Fast Five.
Fast Five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, so it is like New Year's Day or something.
I updated a few. I looked at it last night. I was like, I can't leave these on here. It's been 3 weeks.
All right,
the Royal Rumble.
Oh boy, Roman Reigns.
Oh come on, man! The guy's got leukemia. Would you?
Oh yeah. Actually, I forgot about that.
Anthony Scaramucci.
The Mooch. Wait, he's on the reality show, the Celebrity Big Brother.
Yeah, he's the big get. He was like the TV advert. I'll talk about it on the way back because that's how
Mooch.
sad celebrity reality shows are now. The Super Bowl.
Okay, we got the Rams.
Yep.
We got the Pats.
Yep.
Boy, am I pushing for the Rams to win.
I think
everybody outside of New England.
Yep.
Yeah, everyone's tired of seeing the Patriots win.
Yep. The Fire Festival documentaries.
Watched both of them.
Did you watch both? Now, what one did you
both.
prefer? You know what? We'll come back. Did you like them?
I did.
Okay. We'll come back. I'll get your thoughts on both of them on the turnaround. And lastly, Roger Stone.
Roger Stone. Tell me about Roger Stone.
The Donald Trump ally indicted this last week.
This'll finally do it.
Yeah. That's why I put it on there. Same thing we've been saying for a while now whenever we talk about this.
That other shoe's about to drop.
Whatever. Tell me when the report's coming. That's all I care about. I appreciate the gravity of what's happening, but I can't personally understand it because I don't understand the severity and the entirety of it.
But hey, at least the government's back to work.
Hey, 3 weeks. Get your tax return in ASAP if you can.
Yeah, is that that's the word, right?
Yeah, they're only there through the 15th. I read a report yesterday that 26,000 IRS workers who were summoned back to work didn't show.
Okay.
So I would get them in early because who knows what the delays will entail if and when. Well, I think it's going to shut down again on the 15th.
I'm not even going to bother.
Just wait till April.
I'm not even going to bother. Yeah, because the last couple of years I've ended up owing like $100 or
wait till the
$200
deadline
or
then,
whatever.
right?
So yeah, I'm not going to do it until then anyway.
Well, I got a kid. They give you tax.
Oh yeah, you
that.
get a lot of money for that kid, right?
I have had my tax return.
Has it been done for months?
I'm waiting for my W-2. Everything else is filled out.
Oh, because you do the TurboTax.
Yeah,
right?
I just fill it out on one of the online forms, and I've been waiting. All I need is my W-2, which legally has to be provided to me by Wednesday or whatever, and it will be filed.
So you essentially have to type in what, like 4 numbers?
No, I have to type in all like the your wages and
right. But I'm saying like
to finish.
Yeah,
that's it.
Because you have everything else filled out.
Absolutely,
and it's a matter of like, all right, how much did I make? Adjusted.
Yep.
And this,
got my retirement accounts filled in, all the child information filled in, my wife's W-2 filled in, student loan stuff filled in, mortgage stuff filled in.
So you're trying to beat the clock.
You're darn right.
You think that are you getting a decent refund?
Daddy needs new furniture.
Daddy needs new furniture. Okay, so you basically had a child so you could get a new couch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not
Wait till you sit on it. I mean, we haven't picked it out yet.
Oh yeah,
But it's going to be a
this
nice couch.
couch. This kid was worth it for this couch.
Before that, the Fire Festival documentaries, one from Hulu that nobody knew the release date of, dropped 3 days before the Netflix one, which had been announced.
I love that.
I have not watched the Hulu one yet. I watched the Netflix one. What are your thoughts?
Loved them both. They're both good for
worth watching?
for separate reasons. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It's weird though. They kind of blurred together at this point. I watched them both last week, so I don't really remember exactly what was what. But in the Hulu one was good because Billy McFarland,
Does the interview.
Yeah, he's interviewed throughout the entire thing, and boy, is he unlikable.
But he got paid $250,000
Sure.
for that. That gave people a lot of pause as to being like, well, I don't really want to support this. This guy scammed thousands of people out of money.
Yeah, he's terribly unlikable. But it's funny to watch just to see, like, how did you think you were going to get away with this?
Yeah.
Remarkable. The Netflix one, the man that they interview who nearly did one of the most ridiculous things in the world to, like, help out the cause.
What a revelation.
I don't even want to, like, give details on. Just watch it.
You have to watch
it and wait until the interview with a man named Andy.
Yeah.
And listen.
Who appears to be a really, really nice man.
He does. And I don't think anyone has ever been more committed to their job than Andy was to his job with the Fire Festival.
Absurdly.
Ridiculous. That being said, I think he's a piece of garbage because he's associated with that whole disaster
for years
to begin
beforehand, he was too. Yeah. The only thing I missed on the Netflix one that I wish they had more of, and I know the footage is readily available, was the mayhem of trying to get off of the island.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Hulu provides more of that, but I mean, the descriptions of the people trying to get off of the island and the people trying to, and at night, the people trashing their sites. That's fascinating, but the entire build-up, what a train wreck, and obviously the leader of the whole operation, Billy McFarland, like you said, serving 6 years in prison.
Yeah.
Arguably, many more people should be serving time in prison for this, including his
Ja Rule,
CEO. Ja Rule should be. The guy Grant, who headed up part of the operation, should be in jail. What an unbelievable scam. So check those out, Hulu and Netflix.
Yeah, watch them both. They're both good.
For that, the Super Bowl, Rams, Patriots, like you said, I think the American public rooting for the Rams pretty collectively.
Yeah, not even because I'm like anti-Patriots or anything. Whatever. They're a dynasty. They're like one of the greatest, probably the greatest football team ever. But yeah, they've won a bunch of Super Bowls. But I really like I like that. Is it Sean McVay?
Yeah, young Mr. Handsome.
Yeah, he's like 32 years old.
Yep.
He's a superstar coach of the Rams, and he just seems like, I don't know, you want to see him win it. Like he's the new prototype that everybody is going to try and build their team after, and everyone wants their coach to be like him. There was something on I think it was ESPN the other day. We were sitting in the studio, and I just looked up at the screen, and I think we were talking about it, and the crawl at the bottom of the screen says, like, why is Sean McVay the new model of football coaches? Like, I don't know, maybe because he's won a lot of games and he got him to the Super Bowl? Like, that seems like a really stupid and obvious question.
Yeah.
That would be like asking the question, why do teams want a coach like Bill Belichick? I don't know. Maybe because he wins a lot. He's really good.
He's already touched the NFL so much that the Cincinnati Bengals are hiring a guy who worked with him years ago and is the quarterbacks coach in L.A., Zach Taylor, who's a quarterbacks coach, not a coordinator, nothing else. The most fascinating thing I've noticed about Sean McVay, Steve, have you seen these videos and profiles on this guy? The Rams have a fully paid position that is
the Get Back coach.
The Get Back coach.
Yeah.
I sent you the link. I didn't know if you'd seen it, but a guy whose sole job is to follow McVay.
It's not his sole job. It's his sole job on game day.
On game day. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a strength and conditioning coach.
He follows McVay around, and when McVay is either too close to the sideline or getting a little amped up at a bad call or whatever he thinks,
he pulls him back.
Pulls him back.
Yeah.
That's his job on game
crazy.
day.
And it's crazy because they have ESPN has a whole supercut of this guy.
Literally pulling him back.
Does not even realize that this guy is there.
No, it's just like it's
he
second
is so
nature.
focused on what's going on.
Unbelievable.
It's insane.
Before that, Anthony Scaramucci, the big get for Celebrity Big Brother. That's right. The big get was
mooch.
a guy who was the press secretary for 11 days.
Yeah. The mooch.
Back in the public eye, Steve. So I anticipate now until whenever he's eliminated from the show, you'll have a headline a week. Like, Scaramucci says working in the White House was the pits. Or something, every other week it'll be something different that Scaramucci said on the show.
Do you think he'll always wear a suit? Because I can't picture him without a suit on.
Oh, he's like a soprano, like from The Sopranos, but dumber. He reminds me of Jackie from The Sopranos.
Yeah. A little bit, yeah.
Hopefully without the domestic abuse.
Yeah.
But he looks, he has that look to him, right? So, yeah, he's on Celebrity, and I just couldn't believe, like, that was big...
So who are you pulling for? Who do you think's going to win?
What's that, Celebrity Big Brother, right?
So the mooch? Your money's on the mooch?
I couldn't tell you. Oh, I'm sorry. Kato Kalin. That's right. The guy who's famous because he was in a guest house of O.J. Simpson when Nicole Brown Simpson and Mark Goldman were murdered.
So he's famous for living in a house.
That's right, folks. Famous for living in a house.
Famous house liver, Kato Kalin.
Lolo Jones on there also appears to be incredibly
Lolo
unlikable.
Jones
She was the hurdler.
Okay, yeah.
Who was in the news.
Oh, see, I'm getting her mixed up with Hope Solo.
Oh, no.
The serial picture taker.
One of them can't stop taking photographs of their very own rectum. The other is a former Olympic hurdler who, for whatever reason, I don't know why she was unlikable, but internet not a big fan of her. But noted like public virgin, kind of like Tim Tebow. Joey Lawrence on that show.
Joey Lawrence, famous for saying "whoa" on Blossom.
Ryan Lochte, famous for getting arrested.
Gia. Didn't he have a word? His word was Gia.
But wasn't he? His last public appearance was being a drunk idiot and getting arrested for like stealing at the Olympics or something absurd.
Oh yeah, didn't he like steal from a convenience store?
Yeah,
or
something asinine. Kato Kalin, Lolo Jones, Joey Lawrence. Eva Marie, who was once a WWE wrestler who was on the main roster for a couple of days. Ricky Williams, former NFL running back known for smoking marijuana excessively. Dina Lohan, couldn't even get the more popular Lohan, Lindsay. The Mooch. Do you know who a Tamar Tony Braxton's sister.
And on Celebrity Big Brother, Tony Braxton's sister.
An actor from Mean Girls who went on to host Cake Wars and Halloween Wars.
Okay.
And Tom Green.
Oh, Tom Green.
Yeah,
I like Tom Green.
Sure.
I mean, Tom Green's a very lovable guy. Mm-hmm. He was he was at the radio station a couple of years ago.
Still does stand up.
And he was remarkably nice. He was a great guy.
An insane downfall from his height in the 90s where he had the Tom Green show. Freddie Got Fingered, the movie.
Yeah.
Fall far. Still doing stand up?
Yeah, and I think I would still root for Tom Green.
Yeah.
I like him.
Seems like a nice guy.
There's
not been any public
very
stuff.
nice guy.
Yeah. And lastly, Steve, the Royal Rumble. I told Katie this morning, she's sitting there. She's sitting in the recliner. I'm sitting in the couch, and I rub my hands together, and I go, one of the best days of the year today. She goes, what are you talking about? And I said, it's Royal frickin' Rumble Day. You've got surprise entrance. You've got the buzzer. 30 of the top superstars in the world today, Steve, entering into the ring to see who's going to get a shot at a championship of their brand's belonging. I cannot wait. You've got surprises. You've got legends. You've got current. Who wins? Is it Seth Rollins? Whoever wins the Royal Rumble hypothetically takes over from Brock Lesnar. You'd assume Brock Lesnar's going to lose the championship at WrestleMania. He's held it a while, and obviously the rumors of him going back to MMA. Is it Seth Rollins? Rightfully had the best year in 2018 of any WWE superstar, Steve. possibly more intriguing, who wins the Women's Royal Rumble?
Want your time for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Would you like a double
Who
stuffer?
comes up from NXT? I mean, you've got surprise entrants.
Well, we'll get back to that. Would you like a Oreo?
Double stuff there, thank you.
Yeah, just a...
Fast 5. Want your time for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, fast five this week. First one, fast five.
All right, you're fast 5, Steve. Go.
Government shutdown.
Boy, Steve, a real bummer.
Boys.
Oh, it's over, right? Congratulations. Come on, Steve, fast. What's your next one?
Sorry. Super Bowl prediction right now.
Rams 35, Patriots 31.
Whoa, look at you. Next,
Bet the over.
Fire Festival documentaries.
Oh, boy. Intriguing. Watch them.
Fourth, Polar Vortex.
Ready for winter to be over.
Okay, and fifth, Rowdy Ronda Rousey. I was reading an article. Ronda Rousey's WWE run could end as soon as WrestleMania, says report.
That's the rumor. Wants to start a family. She's denying it. Wouldn't be ending. Would be a hiatus, is the way she is referred to as. I am okay if she went away forever.
Really? So you don't even want her to go back to MMA?
Don't care.
Done with it.
Didn't like her. You go on Ellen after losing in MMA and say you considered suicide.
By the way, that's Toby in the background.
Seems like Annette left.
Yeah.
She had a video come out last year where she's essentially a part-timer. She's been on Raw. She's not doing the full circuit every weekend and weekdays, where she was crying on this video because she missed her home so much. And you're like, oh, man, husband, kids, whatever. No, her chickens. She's not likable. She's not great. I'm done with her. Move on.
Okay. You heard it here first, folks. Ronda Rousey is done, according to Kyle.
Double stuffed Oreo?
No, I'm good.
You good?
Next, the Polar Vortex. I saw reports that on Wednesday morning in our little neck of the woods,
awful.
The wind chill when I drive into work is going to be negative 35 degrees.
Unbelievable.
High on Wednesday, -1.
Awful. I'll take the snow. I just hate the bitter, bitter cold.
Why do we live here? Like, what are we
By
doing?
choice.
What are we doing?
You've been to a place in, Jamaica.
Yeah, that's right. The northern coast of Jamaica. Sandals, Ocho Rios, which, as we know, means 8 Rioses.
Just earshot away from the detainees at Guantanamo Bay.
Just 165 clicks.
It's like 2 skips of a stone away from hitting a terrorist.
What do you think the longest stone skip has ever been? Like a half mile?
Man. 100 yards.
Oh, I think longer than that. I bet
like
250.
Looks like they only count it by skips. Before him, so I don't know what the current record is, but before him, the record was 51 skips.
Whoa!
Set in 2007 at the same location.
Was it like a tournament?
Franklin, PA achieved in competition in Franklin, PA.
What do you win for getting a 51 stone skip?
There's got to be some pretty heavy prizes, right?
It's just a rock.
Peter Zepp is the current men's world champion from Hungary.
Let's get him on.
He unseated Keisuke Hashimoto from Japan in 2017.
Boy, the Japanese are strong at stone skipping.
If we're getting a stone skipper on, though, Steve, we're getting Dougie Isaacs. He was the world champion from Scotland 2016, 2015, 2014, 2013, 2011, 2010, 07, 05.
Whoa.
He is the stone
that's
skipper.
The land of locks.
Unbelievable.
He's probably out there on Loch Ness, skipping stones, taking out the monster.
Oh, we're getting Dougie Isaacs on.
You sent him a message?
I have no idea how to get a hold of him, but I need, if there's one thing, I don't know why these come up in the Fast Five.
We have listener Alan in Scotland, blind Alan in Scotland, listens to the side gig. Don't know if he listens to this or not, but I will send him a message, and I'll say, Alan, we need to talk to Dougie Isaacs. You know him because you're Scottish.
Go find him.
I mean, you're blind, so you'll have to have people point him out to you.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
Looks like last month, champion stone skimmer. This was in June. Dougie Isaacs.
Skimmer?
Well, I think this is from quite interesting on Twitter, whatever, smashed his own Guinness World Record by skimming a stone 121 meters. This is the record for the longest distance, but not the most skips, which currently belongs to Kurt Steiner with 88 skips. And they actually have video of him skimming a stone 121 meters in Wales.
Wow.
We need to talk to Dougie.
That's remarkable.
Blind Allen, go down the road. Go to the pub. Say, where's Dougie?
I need Dougie the Stone Skipper.
And they'll say, Dougie I or Dougie B. You just clarify there can't be that many Dougies.
Yeah.
And you get Dougie Isaacs on this podcast.
Oh, I can't wait. I mean, I guess we could just look him up, too. We don't really need...
Busy.
All right, before that, we had the Fire Festival documentaries. You watched the Netflix one, you said?
Yeah, well worth the time to watch, as we talked about. What mayhem, what an absolute fraud from top to bottom, not just the Fire Festival, but Billy McFarland in general.
Yeah, everything he's
magnesis.
done. Everything he's done has been fake to just steal people's money. Before that, your big Super Bowl prediction, you said Rams 35.
Pats 31.
Pats 31.
Bet the over, folks.
What's that mean?
Over hard. You're going to have the over-under on points, which I believe is probably in the 50s right now. Bet the over. I think it's going to be a shootout.
High-scoring game.
High-scoring game. Bet the over. Take Rams to cover to the 2.5.
So you think the Rams are going to win this game?
I do.
Really?
Yeah. That's a lot of anger at the Pats coming.
Love for the Rams to win this game.
I think, again, everybody would. Right?
If the Rams win, is Tom Brady done?
No.
You don't think he retires?
I think he's trying to give a figurative FU at this point to people who said he was done 5 years ago.
You think he's just going to keep trying until he wins again?
Until the Pats, Robert Kraft in particular, says, hey, we need to move on. Might be 2 years. I don't think he's done. He doesn't get hit a ton.
Yeah.
But, boy, can you imagine being 43, playing in that frigid cold like he did last week in Kansas City?
He just does.
New England in general.
Good. It's just annoying how good he is.
Hate him so much.
And before that, first on the list was the government shutdown.
Yeah.
It's come to an end. I mean, it's never going to happen again, except in 2 weeks when it does.
Yeah, what a stupid political measuring contest here.
But that's all right. I'm sure that in these next 2 weeks, they're going to make up for all the stuff that they missed in the last month.
Yeah.
Get all their current work done, and then maybe work a little bit ahead.
Yeah.
So we'll be...
Yeah. They're only off for 35 days. It's not hard to get caught up. Yeah. So, pretty simple. I mean, good for the people who get their paychecks, obviously. That's the most important thing.
That's the worst part about it, is the people that... They just want to go to work and do their jobs. They want to get a pay... They're still going to work
they need a
and
paycheck.
Doing their jobs, and they're not getting a paycheck for it. That's ridiculous.
Ugh.
Thankfully, all of their money is safe. They will eventually get it. But, I mean, the average American still lives paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, will they get their back pay now?
I don't know. I'm not sure how it works. I don't know if it's like I don't know, they get some this week, some next week, or they just get a big bulk.
Man.
That's awful, though. Hey, Facebook.com/Steve and Kyle. On Twitter @Steve and Kyle. Instagram, Steve and Kyle. We're going to have a video going up on Instagram, actually all across social, promoting something that we want to try next week.
Yeah.
So definitely check those out. You can download, subscribe, and review the show. iTunes, Apple Podcasts app, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, YouTube, Libsyn, on Spotify now. We're trying to work out the iHeart thing. We should be able to... I have an email into their customer support. For some reason, that's not working. So hopefully by the time you're listening to this, you will be able to hear us on iHeart. I know a lot of people, somebody tweeted at us, they're like, man, I'm so happy I can get you guys on Spotify now. Now everything that I listen to is in one app, because they have all their podcasts through Spotify. So we're just trying to put it out there in as many places as possible, making it as easy as possible to find the podcast. And if for whatever reason you can't get it on any of those other spots, and if you just go to steveandkyle.com, it's all right there. You can subscribe there. So I think that's about it for this week. We will talk to you next week when the Jeep has been sold.
Donna's dad.